What's up, guys? This is the January 2021 live stream. 4 people waiting here. That's actually a lot more than I thought. Hopefully you guys can see me all right. I don't know why, but the camera looks like it's kind of like blurry, maybe? I don't know, but we'll just roll with it. Um, anyway, 5 people here now. So, yeah, I'm sorry for the late notice on scheduling this. I usually try to do it at the end of the month. I got really busy, and then at the last minute, I ended up scheduling something for my college. I'm actually teaching a course tomorrow for the graduating seniors about budgeting and student loans. So I only have like a half-hour segment in a full-day program, but I'm on a panel where I'm going to be doing a presentation. So tomorrow probably would have been the preferable day for me to do this, but with everything going on and that getting scheduled last minute, then I ended up deciding, well, I should probably just do this today, and then that way it doesn't go into the next month. But hey, Boris, and I see the 2 questions here. So yeah, use Webull. So I mean, of course, you guys know everything going on with Robinhood and some of the other stock trading apps. So Webull did also temporarily halt things, but like not in the way that Robinhood did. Um, to answer your first question, so it says, first question I have is, how is your living situation working out? You live at the office you are renting out, or you have another apartment downtown and it comes out to being less. Um, Kind of both. Um, so I'm way behind on making videos to catch you guys up on stuff. I'm working on that. But part of the issue is that when I make the video, I want to be able to tell you guys like everything that's happened and then like have it wrapped up and be able to like basically tell you the entire story in one video. And that's the problem, is that all of these things that keep coming up, they keep like going on, and there's more to it, and it doesn't get like settled. And that's the issue that I'm having. But like basically to tell you what I can about the office, um, so I do have an office space, and when I moved out of my apartment, I moved out of my apartment because I had to, because they were forcing us out to remodel. Um, at the same time, I knew that I wanted to move down here for various reasons, but one of the reasons, obviously, you guys know, my girlfriend lives down here as well, and it was it would have made a lot of sense for she and I to move in together, but it got kind of complicated because she's not real good at communicating, and she also doesn't exactly like being asked direct questions or to like plan things. So I didn't want to say anything to sort of set her off, but at the same time, like this is a kind of a touchy subject for us because we were supposed to move in together last year, and then it didn't happen, and then we were looking at buying a house together, and then we broke up, so that didn't happen, and then it's a sore subject between us basically. Um, I thought that she had probably gone and got an apartment, but she had told me she was going to tell me when she did. She told me she'd applied for a place, but told me that she would get, if she got it, she'd tell me. And she never told me, so I had no idea if she had an apartment or not. But I knew I had to get out of my apartment in Columbus, and I already had the office here, and I knew that I was going to have to kind of reestablish contact with her and figure things out, to find out, should I sign a lease? Should I get my own place? Should I plan to move with her? What should I do? So yeah, that was the plan temporarily, was just to basically stay here, like literally just sleep in the office until I got more information from her. That was supposed to be super temporary, just like anybody might spend a night in their office if you just didn't want to drive home for the evening or something, that sort of situation. But what ended up happening was she has taken a really long time to bring up that conversation. It's actually just something we were talking about today. Um, I'm still not sure about the short term, but I mean, we've agreed that like we're gonna move together to a different city when her lease is over, but that's not until August. So until August, I'm not sure yet what's happening. But that's something that like I'm still working on with her. But yeah, she has an apartment. I have the office. My landlord is cool with what I'm doing here, and it's saving me a lot of money in the meantime. So if I do end up moving with her, I will still have the office at least until, well, through August, which is when my lease is here. At that point, I'll probably drop the office, move everything that's left in here into storage, and then split a place with her. So still, that'll be very cheap. Now, let's see. The combined living situations come out to be less, being I would watch out with your girlfriend. Female, I don't know that word. Hypergamy? Hypergamy is on the rise. She plays too many games. Yeah, well, I mean, so she and we've been off and on in the past, but I mean, what I can tell you is like, and when I went to my counselor, like, she's the one that kind of told me this, but whatever's going on with my girlfriend, like, it, the intent is not malicious. She has a lot of like trauma and issues that she's dealing with. So when she does something, it's not intentional. Yeah, yeah. No, she's not. I mean, we've been together off and on now for 9 years, and I mean, I wouldn't be with her for that long if she were like doing things intentionally. And over time, she's growing and maturing, and I'm just giving her time to do that. But it looks like it does look like it was her idea to move in together last year. It looks like it got too real for her, and she kind of freaked out. But she's back on that again. Seems to really want to do that. But like I said, it's kind of like when her lease ends, and I'm not sure what's going to happen until then. I mean, honestly, if I stay here until August, I'm pretty okay with that because I'll be making money, or well, not making money, but saving money in the meantime. Come to DC so we can hang out. That actually would be pretty cool. I don't know when that could happen, but what I could probably do at some point, because I mean I've been working remotely, like filming and just editing and stuff like that, but I could probably drive from here to Charleston, which is about an hour away, and there's an Amtrak station there, and I know the Amtrak Cardinal goes from Charleston into Union Station in DC. Never actually been never actually been to DC. I've been like in the outlying area, but not in DC itself. So yeah, that would be cool. I'd like to see the stuff, and would love to hear how you are feeling about 2021 and any big goals, Goudy plans you didn't share in your last couple videos. So, yeah, guys, I'm a little behind on making videos. I wanted to make, so I had my 2020 year in review, 2020 financial year in review, and then I am still going to make it, but I had hoped to have it up in January, the 2021 goals. So I will still make a goal video for 2021. The main thing is that the goals are going to be much different than they have been in years past, which I'll kind of discuss that in the video. But in years past, it's always been like, save this much money or pay off this much debt. But with my current situation, I don't have cash flow because I have the little money I make from the business, which I'm trying to increase, and currently I'm getting unemployment. So I don't have the extra money to either save or put toward debt. So my goals are going to be very different. Yeah, protests. That's true. I feel like everywhere I go, there are protests now. You guys know I just moved from Columbus, Ohio, where we frequently had curfews for the city. and you just knew anymore not to go near downtown. It was the state capitol, so there was always a protest. And it's a good thing I got laid off from the job I did, because our building was literally next to the state capitol. So I wouldn't have even been able to get anywhere near work. It's okay. We forgive you. Take your time. Quality over quantity. Yeah, thank you. And I mean, the quantity I'm definitely trying to work on. As I told you guys, December 18th, I was supposed to be working full time on YouTube, and that lasted for about a week before everything seemed to fall apart. Um, Ever since I've come back here, I felt like just everything is pulling me in every possible direction. Um, and basically, I'm still fighting with my old apartments and trying to get my deposit back. They don't want to talk to me. That's a whole big thing, and I may end up having to go to court over that. Um, then I was having some problems with the office here because I'm having a lot of noise issues. I did talk to the landlord today, and I think we got some temporary solutions worked out for that, at least to get me through to the end of the lease. But I've already decided I'm moving out of here, and then just like wherever I'm living, I'm just going to have a home filming studio. Um, but so that's something else I'm working on. I had a couple other smaller issues that thankfully now have been taken care of. Um, and then on top of that, and this isn't bad, but I've had some opportunities come up for the channel. I'm working on a couple of different brand deals where I'm going to have a sponsored video here soon, and possibly a second sponsor. And then, like I said, tomorrow, I went to Marietta College, and I'm actually working with my alumni association and the Career Center to host a workshop tomorrow over budgeting and student loans. So I wish that that was something that I could share with you guys, and it might be, but I'm not 100% certain. My segment's only half an hour, and it's super casual. I didn't even make a PowerPoint. It's just going to be me talking like this with basically a framework of what to say. But what I'm going to do is, if I won't have permission because I'm not the host to record it on Zoom, but if they do make a recording, then I'm going to see if I can share that recording in the community section of my channel. So like when you guys are on your home screen on YouTube and you see posts from people, hopefully it'll be on there. Remember to receive sponsorships from ethical businesses. Your foundation seems to be business ethics, how they treat employees, etc. Yeah, I try to be ethical in general. I haven't really had to encounter an unethical company that has been contacting me, asking me for sponsorships. But just so you know, I mean, I know you guys don't see me do sponsorships on here often. And when I do announce something like Root or Instacart or something, those aren't sponsored. Those are just things that I'm signed up for, where I have a referral code where it would help me out if you guys sign up. But those aren't actually sponsored by them. So I haven't had a real sponsored video for quite a while. And when I get them, most of the time they do seem kind of scammy. There's like this one lady who keeps contacting me every few months, and she makes her own eyeglasses, and she wants me to say something about that, but she doesn't want to pay me. She just wants to give me free eyeglasses, and I'm like, I don't really want them. And there was another person lately that was trying to pay me to do a review of something on Amazon for her, and then wanted me to make a video, and I'm like, well, this has nothing to do with my channel. Like, I'm not making a video on this. Now, I will tell you guys, there is one person that I'm working with now. It is a fintech company that we pretty much have the agreement laid out. I'm just waiting on the actual contract to come over. But it'll be a fairly big sponsorship, but that will be a dedicated video. So I'm just warning you guys. I know normally if I do an ad, it's just in the video, but there will be one video coming out that is just an ad, which I don't really want to do it, but as far as the channel income coming in, I need the money. And I can't tell you if it's an ethical company or not because I can't really tell. It seems like it might be okay. The only thing is they do have kind of high interest rates, but I don't know. I looked at the reviews of them online, and I looked at NerdWallet's article about them, and they don't seem to be sketchy. So, um, you know, they're at least okay. Um, Congrats on the sponsors. Do you have a dream job other than self-employed entrepreneur? Any companies you'd like to work for? Yes. Yes. So there is. Do you have a dream job? Okay, I don't know if I have a dream job because I always was the kid in high school that like didn't know what I wanted to be still. And that's why I was undecided when I went off to college. And of the things that I have decided to be over time, I've realized that if I became that, I'd probably hate the work schedule or the workload or the work-life balance or something. So self-employed, that's pretty much what's going to work for me. But also, I would like to see myself, and I don't think this is going to happen now, but I've always thought that I would want to join a good company, work my way up, start at the bottom, work my way up into a management or leadership role, and be successful that way. I know that's a very traditional thing, which is completely the opposite of what I'm doing. But I do think that even though like I'll make it eventually as an entrepreneur, I'll always wish that I could have made it in the corporate world, even if I actually had, I would have actually probably hated it. But I've had an opportunity to do that, and it always seems to get taken away from me. Like the video about how I got fired from Abercrombie and Fitch. It really didn't have anything to do with me, and that's a company I loved and would have stayed with, and was on track to become a district manager. And then Candid, I got promoted there twice. I helped found the company, and then laid off out of nowhere. So, and then any companies you'd like to work for, yeah. There's one company that I would give a chance. I would actually come out of entrepreneurship and go back and work for this company because it's so awesome. But I don't think it's going to happen. I've had 2 different rounds of interviews with them. And, I mean, the first one was a little confusing, but it seemed to go so well. They seemed to love me. And then just nothing from them at all. They called me back in about a month later for a different position, and this was even a better position. Interviewed for it, and it was a little chaotic because that was the day they were meeting about the coronavirus and what they were going to do with all those restrictions. And I don't know if I got lost in that or what, but they ended up hiring this other girl who also got laid off from Candid. And I mean, that was a huge mistake for them because she stayed there like a month. I'm like, guys, I'd still be there. I love your company. But yeah, it's a fintech startup in Columbus, and I'd be working out of the WeWork studio there in the Short North, and it's just a really, really cool company. They pay pretty well, have catered lunch every day. It's just, I love startup culture, and I just feel like I'm a really good fit there. So ever since then, though, ever since those 2 rounds of interviews, I have applied and applied and applied for all these different positions as they post them, and they won't even, they don't call me anything. So, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I've probably pursued it to the point that they just think I'm crazy now. So, I don't know. I don't feel like that's going to happen. 1-800-CONTACTS. Is that an ethical company? Is that what you're saying? Because the thing is, I can always send a pitch deck to a company, and then most of the time they have, like, what is it called? Affiliate programs. So I might be able to do that. John says, fan of the channel for 4 years. Let's see, what year is this? 2021, so 2020, 2019, 2017. Okay, so that's pretty early. What was that asset you bought? Okay. that had no downside but would take a long time to pay off. Okay, so I even have the thumbnail made for that video. I just haven't made the video yet. Um, One, I wanted to wait until everything was wrapped up with that before I made the video, and essentially this part of it had nothing to do with me. It took absolutely forever to buy that thing. I mean, we started talking about it in 2018, and literally, it didn't officially go into my name until February 2020, and I didn't even know it was in my name at that point. I didn't get the paperwork until October of 2020. And then, of course, after October, there's been the holidays and me having to move, and then all the stuff that's going on now. So that's why I haven't made the video. But for the most part, that stuff's all wrapped up now. Basically, I don't want to ruin the surprise of what it was, but I did make a decent chunk of money off of it. So it's appreciated in cost. I bought it for undervalue, so there was like an immediate return on it. And now it's just a question of, okay, what can I do with it? Because there are some restrictions, but you know, I'll have to explain all those to you guys in the video. I would say my intention is to get that up in February, but it might be March, just depending on what all happens. I don't mind telling you, but there's no way to like say what it is without like ruining the whole surprise of what it was, and making the video. Oh, okay, so I'll try to do research on it. You could do the dream job on the side. Just make sure you have a safety blanket with passive income. That is what I'm doing with stocks. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, most of the time you have your dream job as your main job and then your side hustle. But like, you're right. Like, if I have a thriving YouTube channel, even if I'm not doing this like full time, I could have a full-time job with like a stable enough income coming in from this that I could either take a job that paid a little less to accept a job I actually like, or I could, you know, if I lose my job or whatever that situation would be, that I'm not totally screwed. So, yeah, you're right. Jaegerbaum says, I think you'd work well in startup culture in general. I also think you'd be good at PR. You are skilled at explaining and storytelling. So, yeah, startup culture I love. I think it's because I want to have businesses myself, that I'm already in that mindset. And also because I started a lot of organizations, especially student organizations when I was in college. So when I just kind of accidentally stumbled into the startup world, I found it was a really good fit for me. And even this job that I still technically have and I'm furloughed from, but you know, it's looking more likely like I'm probably not going to get called back and get hours for. It was a brand new program with an old company, so it was still sort of a startup because we were just kind of flying blind and writing SOPs as we went. Public relations, I think I could do that for myself. I don't think I'd want to do that for another person, really. But I could definitely just, you know, be the spokesperson for, wow, can't talk, spokesperson for my channel or my brand or something like that. And I appreciate the storytelling thing. People have told me that over the years, and you know, actually one of the things that very long term is on my list to get into is looking at getting into like voice acting or voiceovers for audiobooks, that sort of thing. And and the explaining thing, that's probably because I was originally an education major, music education. So, you know, I've been a high school teacher, and that's actually something I'm going to get back into now that I'm here. I can't teach in West Virginia because they have really strict requirements for subs. But once the world goes back to normal, I'm going to sign up to be a substitute teacher on the Ohio side, which, I mean, if I could see out my office here, I don't have any windows, but if I could, like about 500 feet that way is the Ohio River. So super, super close, that I could just go over there and sub. And the way they have it set up is it's like all of the school districts in that county and a few of the school districts in the surrounding counties go through an education consortium that sources the substitutes. So I basically would be able to sub at any of those places. And then it's about $100, $125 a day. And I mean, you guys can imagine, like, I would be pretty chill as a teacher. I'm only going to do like high school, but yeah, it's actually fairly chill. Thoughts on giving acknowledgements to Patreons toward the end of your videos. So I know that you mentioned this in a comment on one of the other videos, and I haven't responded to you. I am actually doing that. If you go over to Patreon, it's on, I think it's the $10 per month level. Anything that's $10 a month or higher, you'll be recognized. So basically that example that you gave me, oh, I think it must have blocked. If you posted a link, it must have actually blocked the link you posted. But I see the timestamps. And from the comment that you posted the other day, I did watch that. And that's essentially what I'm going to do. Like at the end of the video, just put an like an end screen on there with that information. So that would be like $10 a month and above. But nobody's sponsored at that level yet, so I haven't started doing that yet. And speaking of Patreon, the reason I asked you to check your messages on there is I sent a message because since you're at the $5 level or the $4.61 a month level or whatever, you'll get 24-hour early access to any video that's not a live stream. And I've been trying to figure out the best way to send that over to you. I had sent you a message also asking for your social media handles if you wanted me to follow those back, because that's part of the $1 per month package, and you get that as well. If voice actors make a ton, yeah, it's like kind of hard to break into it, I think. Oh yeah, you know what, maybe because when you upload a video now it automatically, oh whoa, holy crap, thank you Jaeger bombs, that is huge. Thank you. Oh, well, and thank you for coming up with the name for all y'all too. That's huge. And hey, you know what? $50 is about either everything I make from AdSense in a month up to, you know, maybe half of what I make in a month. It's like, it's a huge amount. I usually make $1 or $2 a day per, from AdSense. So I really do appreciate that because that's an enormous amount to me. And let me see here. I got to scroll back because I think I missed some comments. So voice actors make a ton. Yes. So that's the thing. I really want to get into that because of people telling me that I'm good at storytelling. I was okay, so I was in choir in elementary school, but then I went to like instrumental. And when I went off to music school, I played trumpet and then I learned some other instruments. But it wasn't until I transferred schools and had to double major in both instrumental and vocal music education that I started taking voice lessons and really learned how to sing. Now, my voice has changed since college. It's gotten deeper. So I've kind of like lost that ability to sing. Like I think I just haven't like discovered my new range really yet as far as singing. But I think it's that vocal training that I took in college that allows me to like shape the intonation of my voice when I'm speaking. So I think that's what's going on with that. But yeah, long term, like I said, there's a lot of things to do beforehand before I even think of researching it. But I do want to get into voice acting. Also, possibly podcasting. I don't think I would start a podcast about anything like this, but if I was ever like a guest on a podcast, yeah, that could be cool. Colors by Avon, hi. I'm glad you can make it. I know you're usually on most of these live streams. Got it. I had a problem with private, so maybe unlisted. Yeah, so the unlisted video, when you upload a video to YouTube, it automatically goes up as unlisted now, and you're supposed to leave it there for a couple of hours for YouTube's whatever robots to do the monetization check, and then it'll tell you if there's any problems before you monetize it. So it's automatically going to be unlisted, and yeah, I think I can send you a link. What was happening was with the private, you can set it as private, and then I got your email address from Patreon, and I tried to share it, because you can share a private video with somebody and only they can see it, only the person that's been shared with. But I noticed there weren't any views on it, so I knew somehow you weren't seeing it. So we'll work on that as other videos come out. I know tomorrow I've got to film in the January budget review, and then on Monday I got to film the budget with me. So we'll figure something out. Yeah, and so Colors of Avon also says she likes Goudy Gang. So yeah, let's go with that. I think that's great. That deserves 5 videos worth of acknowledgement. Well, yeah, it does. You could do bass voice. Check out the gal on Bob's Burgers. Okay, so technically my voice is a baritone with a bass extension, but I also can get pretty high, and until I'd say 5 years ago, I still had enough vocal range that, do you guys remember like 1996 Hanson, that song Mbop? And you know, like they're the like prepubescent boys and like how high their voices got. I could in falsetto still hit those notes. Now I can't anymore. It just destroys my throat. But I used to be able to do that. And my mom is 71, and she has mentioned to me that her voice continues to get deeper over time. So I feel like mine will too. And I probably will eventually have like, yeah, completely like a bass voice. Yeah, Hanson. Hey, in like 1996, I was in 6th grade. That song was like all the rage that summer. And I'm not ashamed to tell you guys that it's like one of maybe 10 songs that I have on iTunes actually saved in my phone. I always make sure that I, roll all the windows up so nobody can tell what I'm listening to, but I will sing along to it in the car. So, yeah, now, I don't know what they are doing now. Kellers of Avon said they're very talented. I don't know what they're doing. So, I remember 1996, I think it was 96, maybe 97, just that summer taking a road trip with my aunt and uncle to Disney in Florida, and just having, like my personal CD player that took batteries, and listening to that, well, that whole album, most of the way there. So I think it just reminds me of that summer. So I do want to tell you guys, and I've already mentioned it, that I have my, they're still performing concerts. I do have my 2021 goals video will be coming out in February. A lot of stuff hit me this month. And not just me, like I've had a lot of like drama dealing with my old apartment and them trying not to send my deposit to me. I mentioned that earlier. So that's a whole thing I got to deal with. I've had to make a couple trips to Columbus for doctor's appointments, so that's a thing too. But on top of that, I've been dealing with my girlfriend because she's had a rough month. She got COVID, so she was quarantined, and that was a big ordeal. And then after that, she had a death in the family that she was pretty devastated by. And then she is now sick again and has strep throat. So she's had a really rough month, and I've been helping her with some stuff on top of all the stuff that I've had going on. And having just like moved all my stuff down here by myself and then doing all this other stuff, like it's just honestly, it's been a lot to deal with. And I'm trying to get it all figured out. I think what I'm going to have to do is I made some arrangements with my landlord. Like I told you guys, I've been having issues with noise here in this office, and he kind of explained the issues to me. And I understand it now. Like, I understand some of what's going on. He actually is letting me use his office, which is downstairs in the building. He just gave me a key to his office, and he said, you know, that's a very quiet location, and just use that to film my videos. That way, you know, I still have my main office, but I can use his office to film in, and then that way I'm not running into what I'm running into now, where like I can't film a damn video because there's a dog barking from over here and a dog barking from over here and music coming through the vents. And so yeah, he's pretty cool. So I think he kind of feels bad about it, honestly, because what happened was I rented the office here, and it was just, you know, it was a normal office, right? But then weird stuff started happening. There was like a guy moved in across the hall, and I don't mean like office space, like he started living there. And then like the oh, I don't know. There was just weird stuff happening. Take him out to lunch. He'll be your shining light if you fall behind on rent. Well, actually, so I might end up just almost providing him a loan. Because here's the thing. I still owe rent because I signed the lease. I still owe rent for February, March, April, May, June, July, and August. So that's 7 months at $300. I have the money. It's going to come out of savings, you know, or the additional stimulus money that's coming. He was telling me today that they owe about 800 and some dollars for a bill. It's a long story, but they don't have the money to pay it. So because they don't have the money to pay that, they couldn't do something else regarding one of the locks or something they needed to do. So basically, I didn't offer. I wanted to think about it first, but I might just end up paying him rent 3 months in advance, since I'm going to end up paying it anyway. And then that way he has the money up front to do that. I guess he explained the reason that there's like all these guard. I didn't even know they were guard dogs. I honestly just thought people had dogs in their office for no reason. But like, I guess there have been people trying to break into this building and steal the liquor, I guess, from the event center and the DJ equipment. So he has to have people awake at all hours patrolling the building with guard dogs. I've never been concerned that anybody was going to mess with my stuff here, but yeah, I don't know. They've got some kind of issues going on. But yeah, like the temporary solution is just for the rest of my lease. I'm going to basically use this as like storage in my main office place, but then be able to go film in his office. So you guys, once again, will see a completely different background. Unfortunately, that background, even though this is ugly back here, this is not going to be here. The background that you'll see is probably going to be a dry erase board with a bunch of stuff written on it about the office here, but, you know, at least I can make videos. That's the important part. Also, might be able to use the girlfriend's apartment. I'm going to be going over Thursday to check it out, because you guys got to realize I haven't even seen her place yet. I moved down here I got down here December 18th, and she started feeling sick soon after that. We were supposed to spend Christmas together, but she got in a big argument with her mom and was upset, so she didn't do that. And then a couple days after Christmas, she started getting a fever, which turned out to be COVID. And then, so like literally I've been down here like over a month and haven't actually even seen her yet or seen the place that she got. or do something with him to help guard the building, whichever is cheaper. Chances are, if you do something for someone, people will be over. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. I actually think that he would be totally fine with it. Um, I mean, I don't have a reason to be short on rent. Um, like I said, I owe what 7 or 8 months left, which is like $2,100. Um, I don't plan really to have to get into savings for that, but I've got plenty in savings if I need to, if I don't have the money up front. So they know that I'm really prompt with paying rent, and that's important here because I mean, you just told me today you didn't have the money to fix the locks or pay that bill to fix the locks or something. So like, they definitely have some cash flow issues, and I mean, my part of it is just making sure I have my rent on time every month. All right. Well, um, don't. Oh, there you go. Fix the locks. So I'm not sure what locks he's talking about because, as far as I know, the front door, the upstairs, and my office door locks. Do you live there, or is it just an office? Well, it is just an office, but I am staying here currently. So I explained this in the beginning of this live stream, but essentially, it's kind of a long, drawn out thing. But essentially, I got down here temporarily with just the plan to sleep in the office until I got word from my girlfriend what we were doing about housing. I haven't fully gotten that answer from her yet. Other than, I mean, we did talk today. I mean, last night and today we talked about moving in the future when, like, her lease and my lease are up, and we talked about, like, we're definitely moving somewhere together. Then I'm just not sure, like, right now. Do you think this girl's really reliable? Um, I think I don't want to say that she's not reliable. Like, I trust her. It's just she is very independent, and she also doesn't like to answer questions directly, or like plan things. She kind of just likes me to plan them and then just like tell her what we're doing. Um, so I don't know. You just have to approach her in a certain way. And I mean, she and I have been dating off and on for like 9 years now, so I kind of know how to approach her about stuff. Any funny stories? Let me think about that. Man, I can't think of any. Really, I haven't done much of anything since I moved down here. I mean, not that there's anything to do in this town at all, but I've pretty much been here in the office, or I've gone to a few stores. I go to the gym sometimes. I really haven't been anywhere for anything to happen. She sounds pretty non-committal. I mean, yeah, but you do have to understand, like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with attachment styles, but, like, everybody has an attachment style, and I would say mine's mostly secure, but I'm kind of anxious when it comes to her. She is very avoidant, but, like I said earlier in the stream, my counselor had said that she's not doing it to be an asshole. Like, it's trauma based. She's afraid, and over time, she freaks out a little bit, and then she comes back, and then she eases into stuff. It just takes a lot of time with her. I mean, she's pretty committed to me, so I feel pretty good about it. We've been talking about taking a bunch of trips, and we're planning to move in together again and stuff like that. And we going out on a date on Thursday because in West Virginia, people act like COVID doesn't exist, so all the restaurants and everything are open, so we're just gonna go out and have a nice dinner. Um, Anything you've been watching or reading that you'd recommend? So, I haven't been reading. Um, I'm trying to think. I can't think of anything that I'm reading right now. Um, Anything you've been reading? Oh, or watching? Well, so not really watching. I've noticed that like the movies that are coming out are not very good. I think it's because of COVID and like that's delayed filming, and then of course the companies don't want to make a big movie because they're not going to have a theatrical release and they're not going to make money off of it. Um, I did watch Wonder Woman 1984 when it came out on Christmas, and that was only because, I mean, it was a superhero movie, so it was going to be kind of decent. Um, I watched it because I have HBO Go. It comes free with my data plan on my phone, so I do watch some stuff on there. So I watched that. There's not really anything else I can think of, like a big movie coming out or anything that I want to see. I really mostly just watch YouTube, and like I watch the most random stuff. Like right now, it's in the background. I have it paused. I'm watching a video. It's called Mega Driving School. That's the channel, and it's just like dash cam videos of people in car wrecks. Um, I watched that. I've been watching a channel called Pasta Grammar, which is about a husband and wife. He's American, she's from Italy, and it's all about them trying foods or her teaching him how to cook food. I've also been watching a channel called Brutal Moose, um, but I only kind of specifically like one type of video that he makes, and it's where he goes to like thrift shops and he gets blank VHS tapes or ones that aren't labeled, and then he like watches them and just makes like sarcastic comments about the stuff that he finds on there. Oh, and I've been watching a channel called Reactistan, and they're tribal people from Pakistan that are trying different things. Usually it's food. They have them try and react to, but there are also some other things. They've had them play video games and stuff like that too. Can you give us a small tour? Well, okay, it's pretty unsightly right now, to be honest. I don't know, because here's the thing. Like, I'm actually even cautious to even say, online here that I'm like living in here. Like, I'm sure my landlord knows. He even mentioned something today about like, oh, it's okay if you sleep in there. But at the same time, it's kind of like one of those things. It's like, it's okay if he knows, but I don't want to like advertise that I'm doing it. I'm not fully moved in here or have everything fully put away at all. I did film a very short empty apartment tour of my Columbus apartment, which that I will hopefully get up in February. It's literally like 5 minutes long, so not long at all. This space is about 275 square feet. So, and then we just have like a community kitchen, community bathroom, and then I just go out to the laundromat to do laundry. And like I have a gym membership, so that's where I've been showering. So there's not I don't know. I don't feel like the way my tripod and everything's set up that I can, and especially with the front-facing camera, that I can like give you guys a tour. But what I had planned to do, of course, I ruined the surprise now. But maybe it's just because you guys are super engaged that you're here. Maybe nobody else will really think about it. But essentially, I want to make videos or a series of videos at the end of this, um, telling everybody how I saved money by doing this, telling people, like, basically having one full tour and showing how everything works in here and how it's set up, um, having a Q&A about it, about, how I did it, how I saved money, how different things worked. Um, but I'm kind of planning on doing all of that, like, at the end. And the end will be in August. And I'll film it before I start moving anything. That way, it'll be just like it was, like, as I'm living here. Um, okay, so Boris says come to Australia. Well, funny enough, had the conversation with a girlfriend about, like, what we're doing in the future, and she has a lot of health problems, and I mean, I'm lucky that I don't, but here and there, like, I have stuff that comes up, and at some point, I'm 35. I got to start considering taking care of my body. Um, I got to consider that although I'm doing okay and making progress financially, if I have like one medical bill come up, I'm just totally screwed. So I need to go somewhere that has health care. And that's a conversation we had recently, and she is fully on board. Um, we had actually planned on taking a road trip to Canada next month just to scout it out and talk to them about immigration. She also wants to talk. She wants to visit Australia. Canada is just the easy one for us to get to right now because it's a, I don't know, like 5, 6, 7 hour drive. But we were going to do Canada first, and then, like, just yesterday, Canada basically said they're just shutting their borders down, I think, till April. So that's probably not going to be able to happen, especially because she has COVID. Um, Now she's past the point where, like, you're supposed to not be contagious anymore. But still, she would test positive for it. Koala bears, in no particular order. Is that a YouTube channel? Colors of Avon says, do you miss the COVID collection? What is that? Is that the you mean like the testing? I've only been tested twice. That was in May and then in October. Of course, I tested negative both times. Oh, the COVID job. Yeah, I do. And I'm going to email them again this week and just see, like, hey, still waiting here. Like for you guys to bring me back on board. I'm still in contact with people that are actively working the job. And as far as we know, it's ending the end of March now, which would only give me 2 months, which would mean I could do a max of 2 deployments. But things are complicated now. The girlfriend's around. I mean, she's fine. She would be fine if I went off and did a 3-week deployment. But, I don't know. I mean, it's before we were broken up when I did that, and it was a different situation. The other thing I have to consider is, like, Valentine's Day is coming up in 2 weeks. I kind of don't want to be shipped off during that. But at the same time, I don't want to turn down the money if they will bring me back. It's just when I've reached out to them, they either don't respond to me or they give me, like, kind of a vague answer that doesn't really answer my question about whether they're bringing me back. But one of the girls that I talked to just basically said, like, hey, like, she is actually, the person I'm talking to, she actually was off-boarded at one point and came back. And she said, well, basically you just have to keep harassing them. She's like, I know people that had to do it for months and they eventually came back. Best case scenario is that I get another 6 weeks of work with them. Which, yeah, that'll be a lot of money because I was making, I don't even know how much I was making an hour, something around 29 an hour, and then per diem at a minimum of $55 per day, plus having car and hotel paid for, and then, you know, we're 44 hours a week of overtime, so um, that was at whatever $29 times 1.5 is. So yeah, that, I mean, all in all, that job paid like something like $235,000 a year, assuming that you worked every day, didn't take the breaks between deployments, included your per diem. Yeah, I mean, it was a huge amount of money, but it got to the point where it was too much, where I needed a break, and they would only let us take a 5-day break. I needed that break, and then ever since I took it, I did that, and they were already in the process of laying people off and shutting down sites. So I can still maybe come back, but I mean, you know, it hasn't happened yet, and it's questionable. I am still gonna try to get at least one deployment, though. I'm gonna hate myself when I'm working 12-hour shifts and not sleeping at all again. I'm gonna hate it, but it will be nice to just get like one more cash infusion, basically, um, and just be able to put a little bit more money into savings before the job ends. Yeah, so yeah, I was making bank there. Yeah. I think the how to save on rent slash personal finance will do well. I also think you could do more story time about your retail jobs. Those are always funny and tend to get views. They do. One that I haven't filmed yet, but I definitely am going to make, is about working at Whole Foods. Unfortunately, it's not going to get nearly as many views as it would have because when I had the idea to make it, there wasn't any kind of video like that about Whole Foods at all on YouTube. So I would have been the only one that anybody could find. There's like maybe 5 or 6 of them on there now, so there's some competition. But you know, I should still put my story out about that. Did you have health insurance with that job? No. Um, I did not have health insurance. They paid us an additional $4 and something per hour in lieu of health insurance. And of course, we didn't, I don't think anybody ever used it for that. But, I mean, it was a complicated situation because you were so busy and had so little sleep that you never had the opportunity to ever go to a doctor or do anything. Um, and you weren't allowed. Well, so at first we didn't have sick time at all. You just were not allowed to be sick. And then it was, we had sick time, but it was very complicated to use it, and it usually wouldn't get approved. And when I left in October, they had started saying that eventually they were going to roll out a program where you could take a sick day. So I don't know if that ever happened, but I do technically still work there, and I should still have some sick days on file. I mean, if it's down to the very end of the program, you know, I might just be sick for a few days in order to use those days and get paid. Um, get at last. Wait, get at least. I don't know. I can't read. Get at least a year and a half in emergency fund. Yeah, warm fuzzy feeling. Yeah, it definitely would be, and that is my ultimate goal: is to get a year of income. Now, of course, I have to have a stable, steady job again before I continue contributing to the emergency fund. But I have $12,000 in there now, and you know, with that, I feel very secure because it's 4 times as much as I had ever had in the last 11 years I've had that emergency fund. Um, and I haven't had to tap into it. Now, I did take $100 out this month because I put my doctor's appointment, because I had a doctor's appointment. I put the $100 copay. I don't know why I have copay because I don't have insurance, but that's what they charge me. Um, I put that on the credit card because I didn't know how much it was going to be. And then when I saw it was $100, I was like, well, I'm just going to transfer $100 out of savings to pay that off. So I paid off the credit card with that. Um, but for living expenses wise, I haven't had to touch savings. Um, and I haven't worked in almost 4 months. So I have been able to support myself on just what I'm doing and not have to get any additional money for that. So I'm doing it barely, but I'm doing it, and it definitely does feel really good to have that as a safety net and also not have to be tapping into it. Colors of Avon said, I haven't watched any Whole Foods videos, so that sounds good. Yeah, like I said, in the meantime, because I quit there in February of 2019, and I meant to make the video then, but then there's just been a lot of stuff happening. I'm still gonna make it, but like I said, in the meantime, like 5 or 6 people have made videos of that type of subject. Um, mine is just going to be about my general experience working there, and also like why I ended up quitting. Because something did happen. I got into an argument with a manager that because they weren't following policy and I wanted them to, and well, they weren't going to do it. So, um, you know, uh, I didn't leave on good terms. We'll say that, but I will tell you guys all the story or that story when I make that video. Um, so yeah, I'm trying to get some of the stuff cleared up. I think I got the stuff cleared up here about my office. Some of the smaller things I got taken care of. The big thing I got to focus on right now, other than just working on the YouTube channel, is I'm having a hell of a fight with my old apartment. Which, when all that stuff's resolved, I will tell you guys about. But I mean, you guys can pretty much imagine what's going on. I moved out, and basically they don't want to give me the deposit back. Like they had a certain number of days to mail it. They didn't do it. Then they sent it to the wrong address, despite the fact I sent them the address. And then they wouldn't recut the check. And then like the property manager told me to come pick it up, and now he like told me to call him, but he will never answer the phone, never return my calls, and the office is closed because of the virus. So essentially, I have to go up there in next Friday. So I'm just gonna try to like sit outside the office until he comes outside and make him deal with it. Um, I would like to hear about your frugal lifestyle, living on your income. I have debt, work a full-time job, sell Avon, and do deliveries. Need tips. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but my neighbor just like started a movie or something, and it has this like weird tuba music. And anyway, it's coming through the vent. But if you guys hear that, that's what that is. So as far as frugal lifestyle, it's something that I've learned to practice. So it's something that I've learned to practice just over the years by being poor. So a lot of it is just training. It's like ingrained in you after a while. And even when you have money, like I did this summer, you really don't ever spend anything. Living on my income, so my income right now, which actually it'll be changing, guys. My income has been $290 a week on unemployment, but it's actually going up to $498 a week because, well, it's a long, complicated story, but essentially after a year from my original unemployment filing date, even though I haven't been on unemployment a year, I got laid off, filed for unemployment, got it for 4 weeks. got this job, then got laid off. Well, didn't technically get laid off. I'm furloughed from this job, but not called back. So now I'm getting it there, but they gave it to me based on the rate where I'd first filed. They recalculated based on all the money I made last summer, and now my weekly amount is way higher. But the downside is they're so backed up that because I had to file a new claim, it's going to be 4 or 5 weeks till I get a payment. I'm going to be fine. I've got money in my checking account, I've got money in savings, but it's just really inconvenient. Um, so I think you've probably seen, I think it's NBC or MSNBC, CNBC, one of those. I don't know. They do the Make It series, and there's all these videos of like, how I live on $100,000 in New York City. I want to be. I've really legitimately thought about making a parody video that's something like how I live on $15,000 in West Virginia. I don't know if it's actually 15,000. Whatever 290 a week times 52 is. Let's see. So you sell Avon deliveries. We actually have that around here. People think like because I'm in West Virginia, like we don't have anything. We actually have Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Postmates, which is now part of Uber Eats. We have Shipped, Instacart. Yeah, so if I do make that video, that's going to be a while down the road, because even if it's, even though it's kind of going to be kind of a parody video of that, it's still going to be a little bit above the skill level that I have with editing right now. So I will have to take the time to learn how to do some of the stuff in order to make it be like what I want. And need tips like frugal videos. Yeah, and Colors of Avon. I actually will be making those types of videos. The thing is, okay, so big plans, big picture here. I don't know if this is going to happen while I'm doing this full time before I have to get another job because it's such a huge project. But you guys have probably noticed that on my channel, I only really talk about what I do with my finances. I don't ever tell people what to do with theirs. And the thing about it is, I subscribe to a lot of personal finance channels, and I just find it like so incredibly insulting and condescending that these, tiny little channels start out and they're all like, you're doing this wrong and this is why you're poor. And it's like, shut up. Like, I hate that. So I'm not gonna, unless somebody asks me to critique their lifestyle or asks me for my advice on something, I'm not gonna tell them how to live their life. But that's kind of the point I'm making, is that on my channel I don't do that, because while right now and for the next few years my focus is going to be on personal finance, this channel is really just, my personal channel about my life. Right now, yeah, it's getting my finances together and paying off debt. But in 10 years, it might be something completely different. It might be, I don't know, I might get back in shape. Maybe maybe it'll be about fitness. But my point is that this is just about me, and my way of doing things is just to show what I'm doing. But, and this is when I said big picture, I do eventually offer coaching, which means that I'm going to have people bring me questions, and then I'm going to help with their financial situations. I still, in that case, I will be helping other people. I'm not going to take my shirt off. I will be helping other people, but it'll be at their request. So I will be doing, personal finance coaching, and, doing a Zoom session, Skype session, that sort of thing, email coaching. And actually, that's available now. If you guys go on Patreon at the $25 and $50 level, I do actually have those Zoom calls, um, and I've got I got Zoom calls and email coaching that are included in the price of that. So if that's something you want to do right away, you can definitely do it through there. But what will happen eventually is I'm going to create an entire new channel where it's just me as a personal finance coach. I'm going to be taking all of these videos, or like all these questions that people are sending me, and I'm going to film videos responding for how to handle that situation. Um, and so that is a major project. There's a lot that goes into that, of creating a whole new channel, and this whole new concept. I want to kind of have it, together and looking okay before I launch that. But that is something that heat kicked on, if you want to know what that noise was. But that is something that I'm going to do. And when I do that, it's not just going to be people bringing me questions and me answering them. It will also be me creating videos from the other perspective from what I do now. So on my channel now, I talk about my situation and what I'm doing. On the other channel, I'll probably get more in depth. I have some concepts that I've developed over time as far as maybe the inner workings of paying off debt, things like that, that I haven't seen anybody make videos about, and it's just, I don't know, thoughts and realizations I've had over time that I think eventually I'm working into a system, like my own system of paying off debt, getting financially secure, and I do eventually want to have like a concrete system put together. But I have some of the pieces of it in my mind that I need to make videos about. But I don't know that they totally fit this channel, because if I'm going to be creating a separate channel to give people advice, I think those videos probably more so belong on that channel. This will remain my personal channel, where I'm going to talk about all my personal stuff, what I'm doing with my finances, all of that. And then that one will be more like financial concepts and the the Q&A videos and responding to coaching questions. So yeah, there's, I know it's a little bit murky right now, but there's a lot of work I got to do to get that. So as of right now, I would be charging $25 for an email coaching, $50 for a 1 hour video session. Those prices, of course, would go up over time as there's more demand, and I might even get to a point where I have to bring more people on board to do that in order to take those types of questions. But we'll just kind of see how it goes, and I will build that channel simultaneously. And anyway, but that's a very huge project, and I want to make sure that I'm making enough content for this channel first. And then basically I will start that channel, just keep everything as invisible until I'm ready to launch it. I'll announce it to you guys. Of course, you can go over there and subscribe and everything, and follow that channel for like more specific kind of like advice, I guess. All right, show the world how out of touch landlords, restaurants, and employers are with the cost of living nowadays. Well, I feel like I do that in my job searching series and in the individual videos that I do about, the individual videos that I do about each of the terrible jobs I've had. I haven't had too much of a problem with the landlords until this, hi there. I haven't had too much of a problem with it until this place that I've moved out of recently. Now, of course, I think you're talking about landlords charging like way too much in rent, and yeah, of course that's an issue. Part of the reason that I moved down here because the rent is so cheap. My girlfriend's paying like she has a one bedroom apartment and it's kind of outdated, but it's in like a very nice area. Like it's just like in an amazing section of town, and it's uh, I well with utilities it's 510 a month, but I think it's actually like 425. Um, dude, I'm a bear. I mean, I'm not gonna look. You don't have to send a $20 super chat to take my shirt off. Um, so 2021 seems to be the year of revolution and protest. March on Capitol, March on Wall Street. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it seems so far there's going to be a lot of that. I mean, I'm not sure if it'll end up just being a temporary thing, kind of like Occupy Wall Street. Yes, guys, I'm drinking pop. Um, I limit myself now, though. I have 4 of these tiny little 10-ounce cups a day. So I don't know if it'll be temporary like Occupy Wall Street, or if it'll be yeah. And most importantly, the Goudy Gang Revolution. New videos, new channels, same Goudy. So the idea is when I don't know what to name the new channel, but I think I'm just going to leave it pretty, this channel is just my name and it's just my personal channel, right? Just like you would have a Facebook or an Instagram. Oh, it's just Diet Pepsi. But yeah, like just like you have a Facebook or an Instagram, this is just my personal YouTube. What I would be doing is basically developing a business YouTube, and I think I would keep it simple. Like I would probably just say like MarkGoudy personal finance coach or something like that. And I don't know. I can't because I'm not certified. It's just that the knowledge that I have gained from living this lifestyle, encountering the things that I have with paying off bills and struggling with money and fighting off debt collectors and stuff like that. I really feel like even though I didn't go to school for this, I have the knowledge. So I can't call myself like a certified, financial advisor because I'm not. I'm not certified. Um, guys, I don't know if you can hear that, but there's like weird noises coming from the office back there. It sounds like they're digging through metal scrap or something. There's always weird noises around here. Okay, so what brand of soda is that? So that's Diet Pepsi. Oh, and somebody mentioned the tuba noises. Yeah, there's all kinds of weird noises that go on here constantly. And I'm sorry, guys. I got like a constant runny nose. Okay, so you said you're doing that currently, but with Meijer. Are you working for Meijer? Big K. Oh, okay, that's from Kroger, right? And then Digital King Beats. Okay, you guys help me. Is this Doge like the dog, like the Doge coin, like crypto? Oh, Big K's not from Kroger. Okay, so King Beats, yes. So I don't know much about that. I will actually tell you guys, I did sign up for Coinbase. It's like a crypto trading platform and a crypto wallet. There was like a special that if you just signed up for it, you got some free crypto. Oh yeah, it's blowing up. Should invest. I did hear that people are investing in that, and actually, crypto overall is going up. Yeah, game GameStop. I mean, look, My guess is it's probably way too late to get into GameStop or BlackBerry or Nokia or AMC. You probably have to, watch and see what the next one is. I'm not doing that. I'll tell you, this month I've been doing some stuff on the back end that like you guys might not see as working on the channel because it's like not videos, but I did sign up for Coinbase, and I have several different types of crypto on there, including Bitcoin. I didn't put any money into it. It was just you got this stuff for free for signing up. And if you guys want referrals to that to get any free crypto, let me know in the comments, and then I'll send you over a link to do that. But the thing about it is, I didn't get that much. I think I got like $40, and it's up to like $65 worth in value now. And then same with if you guys know SoFi, I know them because they do student loan. What's that called? Refinance. But they also have an investment platform, and because it's fairly new, they just have this thing where if you log in every day, they give you a point. And every 4 or 5 days, you get like 5 or 6 points. So basically every day, you get 1 point, which is worth 2 cents. So every week, I take what ends up being 34 cents a week and invest it in something. And right now, I do, just because the FCC, I have to put this out there, this is not financial advice. This is just currently what my holdings are. But I have put some into Tesla, which it's a very low amount. I think it was like $5. So I've made like 63 cents on that so far. I put some in VNQ, which is a REIT. Well, it's a REIT ETF through Vanguard. And then in TGIF, which is a SoFi fund, but it's a weekly dividend-paying fund. So that's something we haven't talked about much on this channel at all, is investments. And I probably know maybe 10% about what there is to know about investments. And the reason I don't ever talk about it on this channel is not just because I don't know a lot about it, I just know the basics, but it's because I've never had the money to invest. I'm always just trying to make money, or I'm trying to like pay off debt, but I don't ever have extra money to invest, and that's why I never talk about that on here. But I do have some money stashed away in retirement that I put away at previous jobs, and I don't touch that. So I do sometimes go into my IRA and buy a stock with money I have just sitting in there. More of it's in a target date fund. But as my financial situation does get better, I will learn more about this, and I'll talk to you guys more about what I'm doing. And then, of course, like when I do my monthly budget reviews, we'll be able to see how that's working out, how that's growing. In October 2018, SoFi settled FTC charges, agreeing to stop making false claims about savings from student loan refinancing. How, so with SoFi, okay, so with SoFi, you're saying that they were making false claims about savings from student loan refinancing. What was false about it? Was it just that, like, because I know, I mean, they do generally refinance you at a lower rate. My issue with SoFi, and like why I haven't, well, there's a number of reasons why I haven't refinanced, but at one point I was trying to. But the thing is, with SoFi, they don't use really like your standard credit score. They go more on like employment history. That's a problem for me. And at one time they told me they wanted to see like at least a year of stable income with the same company. And if you guys remember, I started working at Candid in January of 2019 and then got laid off in January 2020. So it was like as soon as I hit that year of employment where I could have done that, then I got laid off. Okay, channel title ideas. Rowdy with Gowdy. Oh. Open Goudy style. Actually, you guys can't see it, but I've got a bunch of stuff over here that like needs to be sold off from like just random stuff that people have given me that I'm gonna end up selling on like eBay or something. And one of them is actually a suitcase that has Psy on it. Like it has just a picture of him doing like the Gangnam Style dance. Oh man. Well, okay, Jaeger bombs. Like you know, I couldn't, I couldn't use any of those as channel names, especially because I'm trying to. It's supposed to be the business side of the channel where I'm, you know, at least somewhat professional. People will believe I know what I'm talking about. Um, I took your advice on. Oh, nice, nice. Digital King Beats. I took your advice on defaulting student loans, and so far so good. Very cool. Yeah. And just to give you an idea about that, I still have not heard anything from mine. It's very close. I think one of them already passed the statute of limitations, and there's like two more that will soon, and I've heard nothing from them. They dropped those lawsuits in like 2 years ago, and absolutely nothing. Not even debt collectors coming after me. Just nothing. Um, so I I don't know. I mean, you would expect there would be, but nothing. Okay, so you've got digital. Colors of Avon said, "What happened to the art channel?" So, um, well, it wasn't art exactly. It was. I did have some photography that came from videos that I shot for that channel that I had framed, and they were put in the Columbus Arts Festival. They were put in a gallery, and that was really cool. Like there was like a a ton of people coming through, and they put like like the Instagram handle on there. I got a ton of followers from that. Basically, two things have happened with it. As I said, like I will eventually like kind of make that public to you guys. That channel, it's very small. It has just over 500 subscribers right now. But what's crazy about it is that I haven't really put any work into it at all over like the last couple years. And the reason that I haven't put any time or money into it is because for that channel, I generally film around May, June, July. I usually shoot enough that I can then just like put up a video a month and like edit throughout the winter and have content without having to go outside to film when it's cold. But the problem I'm having with it is that I don't know. Um, um, the problem I'm having with it is that it's like with COVID, and then the main place I wanted to shoot, I ended up not being able to shoot, and then I had permission to shoot at some other places, but then when COVID came up, they were like, okay, well, we're not letting anybody in there, so no, you can't shoot there. So it's just been a bunch of things falling through, and it's not that I'm stopping that. Like, I'm still going to grow that channel as well. It's just that, number one, it's really on the back burner right now where I'm trying to make this channel make enough that I can live on, and then I'll be able to also focus on that channel. But that's also the second thing is that channel is not monetized yet. You have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time in order to get that. It has a little over half that amount in subscribers, and it is growing pretty quickly on its own despite only having a few videos. So that's encouraging, but I need to get that watch time up, which of course means that I've got to make videos. So it's just kind of a balancing act and trying to find time for it. It still exists. I haven't done anything with the photos still. My plan was to list them for sale, but I think actually now that I'm moving down here, I think I may I may actually, my landlord actually said something about displaying them in the hallway downstairs, so I might do that and just put them on loan. Um, I get it, you're a professional. Bad thing about V&Q is that it is quarterly and it is decently expensive. Go for dividend. Yeah. Well, so I have money in both. The way I'm looking at it is this money that I'm getting from SoFi, it's free money. And so I'm a little less cautious about what I put it into. I did actually even think about putting it into GameStop, but I decided that was just stupid. Um, but I do think that yeah. So I'm following a YouTuber, which of course I can't remember her name now. Her name is Panda something. She's in she bounces around between the UK and Poland, but she's a personal finance YouTuber and kind of into investing. And she has a lot of interest in dividend stocks, and so she's identified some good ones that I'll probably eventually invest in. Now I think okay, so Gaudi Arabia, that is actually good. I haven't thought of that. So my girlfriend, her brother, they have a pretty unique last name, and her brother just has his last name as his license plate. Um, I actually thought about getting like an Audi, and then just like, you know, you have like the four circles for the logo. Yeah, Panda Boss. Yeah, that's who that is. Um, and just putting like G in front of it. Um, but one concern is if Biden forgives student loan debt for all, then maybe I miss out on then. But at least it looks like it will fall off credit report after 10 years. So if it's a federal student loan, it should fall off your credit report 7 years plus 180 days after um, after your default date, like the date of your not it's not the date of your last payment, it's the date of first delinquency. Um, I believe that's how that works. Um, if Biden forgives student loan debt, you say then maybe you'll miss out. I wonder how that works. I don't know if that includes defaulted student loan debt, and I'm not clear yet if it's only going to be federal loans or if it's going to be private. I'm not sure if he does do it. I know he's talking about $10,000, and that kind of puts me in a weird position with mine because I only have two federal loans. I had a third one, but I paid it off. It was like $1,900. I have one that's about 2,700, and then I have one that's about 32,000. Um, and so I'm not sure how exactly that all works out because it's like, how are they going to decide what to apply that to? I would hope they'd pay off the 2,700 and then put the remaining toward the other one, but who knows? I don't know if you get to decide that. But yeah, Kellers of Avon, you're right. That's Panda Boss. I'm not sure how I came across her, but I found her dividend stock videos to be pretty good. She's always encouraging people to get on eToro, which I might eventually, because she does have a good point. I'm on Coinbase, but they do have a lot of fees on there. And I really like her idea of using like user testing and a couple. She was talking about Preply the other day for teaching online. Um, and I think that I'm going to start doing that too. Because I'm here trying to make this channel work full time. That is my ultimate goal. While I'm on, have income coming in from unemployment and have cheap rent. But at the same time, I'm realizing that maybe I would just actually be okay with just being self-employed. And it can be partly from YouTube, partly from doing other stuff. And so I'm in the process of signing up for a lot of the sites that she's mentioned on there. FTC alleged that SoFi had been making such false claims since April 2016. In February 2019, the FTC announced its approval of the final consent order under which SoFi is prohibited from misrepresenting to consumers how much money consumers will save or have saved using its products, and from making any claims about any such savings unless the claims are backed up with reliable evidence. Okay, so essentially they were like basically exaggerating the claims. Um, I mean, that makes sense. Digital King Beats says, in all likelihood, they're not going to forgive all the student loan debt. It's probably just going to be some kind of extra forbearance or deferment. And honestly, like, I mean, I guess I would like it to be gone, so it's just like not on my credit report, not a monthly payment that I have to pay. But at the same time, with the federal debt, like it gets forgiven anyhow. Um, because I'm so old, like mine gets forgiven after 25 years, but most people have 20 years. I'm 9 years into paying mine now. Um, and I just this past month sent my paperwork in again and got my payment reduced to zero. Not just because it's you don't have to pay anything till September, but like in general, my payment was going to be about $64 a month. And I was like, nope, I'm on unemployment. I can't pay that. I sent them that over. They reduced everything to for a whole year to zero. Um, I probably will not end up paying much of it. And the way it was before they froze interest last year, I mean, it was just ballooning every month. So there's going to be a huge amount for mine that are going to be paid off, or not paid off, but that are going to be forgiven. Um, George Dingus says, "Hi Mark, love your channel and your story. Thanks for continuing to put out great content." Yeah, thanks George. Thanks for finding me interesting, and I do. I wish my content was a little more polished, and I'm working on that. But I'm glad you find it acceptable. Colors of Avon says, I was teaching on, is that Data? Data? I haven't heard of that one. Um, all right. Looks like we're back. I thought we might not have that problem today because it hadn't happened yet. Oh, pay went down. Okay. Yeah, so I hadn't heard of that one, but I almost did VIP Kid. But I ran into some issues with it during the sign up process. There is a YouTuber that lived pretty close to me in Columbus that had kind of been sort of a YouTube mentor to me. And she thought I'd be really good for VIP Kid. And she said that there's a huge demand for guys on there because almost all the teachers are women. And she just thought I'd get a lot of clients right away. But I ran into some issues with it signing up. And then when I was watching that one of the recent videos from Panda Boss and her talking about Preply. I was like, well, maybe I could give this a chance. And when I went to sign up for it, I realized that you get to choose the subject, you get to set your own price, and then I haven't completed the sign up process yet. I'm going to, but one of the things that she said is that, she actually had to immediately turn off her profile because she was getting so many people signing up. And she said that most of the people just wanted to practice their English with her. The other thing is too, I don't really like kids. So if they're high school age, it's cool. Like I said, I'm gonna start substitute teaching here soon. But like, I don't like little kids, and so I don't want to teach them. And the good thing about Preply is she said that you can teach just adults. So I'm gonna try to do that. Digital King Beats says a good direction to go then would be just supplying crypto news on a daily basis. So basically, if you learn crypto as much as possible. Yeah, I mean, I know that would help the channel grow. That's probably not like something I'm going to discuss on here a lot, but it is definitely something that I do need to learn more about, especially now that I have some. I need to kind of know what I'm doing. Um, give your landlord a commission for every sell. Okay, sell of what? Did I miss something? Okay, I think I did miss something. Give your landlord a commission for every sell. I'm not sure what that is. Greg Schrawl. Hey, Greg, are you related to Schrawls from Oregon or from Athens, Ohio? I dated a girl that last name, and it's no, you're not. Okay. Um, my income tax debt will be paid off as soon as I file my 2020 income taxes. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I'm actually expecting a pretty big return this year as well. Middle school kids are great to work with, especially grade eight. Um, oh wait, so Colors of Avon says it's really simple, so easy. I can't believe I never found it before. Well, I mean, I know you said the pay went down, but I mean, if it's between me continuing to be self-employed in some way and having to go back to regular work while the virus is still raging, I would much rather continue working from home. So, I might still look into it. George Dingus says, you said crypto wasn't the direction you want to take the channel. What are some of the directions you want to take? Will you do travel vids or hobby vids, etc.? Um, yeah, so, yeah, essentially. And it looks like the camera might be freezing up again. Not sure if it's the camera or the internet. Um, so, yes, to answer your question, the direction I want to take the channel is I'm going to continue doing the monthly videos like I do. I'm going to do a monthly live stream at the end. I'm going to do a budget review and then a budget with me. But I want to make some other content. I have more content planned, and a lot of it is random. A lot of it is, like I said, this channel is just about my life. And although I don't have any channel art to prove it, the tagline on this channel for a long time has been from poverty to financial independence with life in between. So I will be doing a lot of different things that I think are somewhat interesting. Stories to tell. Yeah, there will be some, well, there probably will be some travel stuff. I didn't film much of that when I traveled a lot this summer because I was just so tired. I worked 84 hours a week, 12-hour shifts, 21 days straight. Um, I mean, I think even when I went to Yellowstone and Craters of the Moon, I think I only put a couple of pictures up online. Um, so I definitely didn't have time to like vlog it or do a live stream or anything. But with, well, of course, there's no service out there anyway. But like, I guess the direction I want to take the channel um, is that I just want to continue moving forward with the type of content that I make, but I want to add varying content to it. So it's not going to be just money. There might be some fitness. There might be some mental health. There might be some. I'm actually going to be doing some cleaning and organizing stuff, just because that's a big part of my life right now, trying to get a bunch of this stuff that I've got in storage sorted through. So maybe videos more oriented toward like minimalism. Um, I'm taking a couple trips with a girlfriend this year, so I might have something short about that. Um, but yeah, essentially, just as I live my life, as things happen, if I think it's something that you guys would find interesting, I could create a video about that. There are a lot of ESL companies. Yeah, and then that Preply thing too is not just ESL. That makes me like it too. So, for example, they have like history tutoring or music, right? Like, I could give trumpet lessons online. So, let's see. George says, I bet those would have been popular videos. You trying foods, showing cool places, I'd watch those anyway. Those all sound like awesome topics. So, definitely the trying new foods thing. That might be a thing. I definitely did this summer. I didn't even think about it, but like being in Idaho, I ate huckleberry, and that's like what they're known for. I went to the Idaho Potato Museum. Um, well, actually, I think it's the Idaho History Museum, but it basically is all potatoes. And they have an ice cream bar in there that has milkshakes made out of potatoes. Um, oh, and fry sauce. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan, but that apparently is an Idaho thing too. It's just ketchup and mayonnaise mixed together. Prepley is like out school. I haven't heard of out school either, but I mean, this is all stuff I'm gonna read back through the chat and like um, try to research. George says, "Damn, why not take us along?" Well, I don't normally do vlog style videos, and I don't normally do anything that's cool that anybody would find exciting. Um, but I don't know. We'll see. Um, like, oh, and definitely, just to give you an idea of more content that will be coming your way. We talked about it earlier in the stream, but the asset that I got from a couple years ago, I got to make a video about that. I've got to make the videos about well, the empty apartment tour from the apartment I just left. If I have time, I'm probably still gonna make video about like why I left Columbus, why I moved to West Virginia, things like that. So, I mean, they're kind of updates and kind of story time videos at the same time. I don't know. And then sale of paintings. Do you mean like the pictures that I had in the art gallery? They're photographs. I was planning to eventually sell them, but haven't done that yet. Like I said, I think I'm probably gonna just loan them to like the office park that I'm in, for them to put in the hallway downstairs. I don't know. Alright guys, let me grab this 2-liter, be right back. Go ahead and leave me some comments, I'll answer them when I get back. Okay. Alright, got my caffeine. I'm good. Alright, do you have fan merch? Well, sort of. I had tried to just develop a couple of t-shirts. I mean, honestly, you know, now that Jaeger Bombs has come up with like a name for yeah, everybody, you know, I could do like a hashtag Goudy Gang t-shirt, if you guys would be into something like that. That would be really simple, just as like a first item to offer. But that's really all I've got so far. But yeah, I mean, if you let me know if you guys that are in the chat right now would be interested in that. Keychains, stuff like that. I could easily do like a drop shipping company like Teespring, something like that, and have some of those made. What would you want on it? Would you want it to just say like hashtag Goudy Gang, or would you want it to, I don't know, have my face on it? I don't know. Colors of Avon says, do you have IRA? What do you think of those? Yep, I have two. So I have a Roth IRA and a traditional IRA, but the traditional is I use for rollover. So the traditional I use for rollover, I don't think there's anything in it right now. But like, say I have a 401k at an employer, and then I leave that employer, I will roll that 401k into the traditional IRA, and then I will do a backdoor Roth conversion. Um, so eventually, once everything's consolidated, I'll just have the Roth IRA. And I mean, honestly, I'm not really sure I have thoughts about the IRA. I don't put a lot of thought into it. I hold some individual stocks in there. Probably 90% of my portfolio is Apple, and then I just have everything else in a target date fund for 2050. That would be cool because I'd love to see who else knows the channel. Would be cool. 2.5. Oh, 2.5. Okay, you mean 2.5 thousand. 2.5 is more people than were in my high school, so it's possible. Yeah, it is possible, and the thing is, I'm always like surprised when somebody recognizes me because I don't know. It's just weird. It's not bad. It's just weird. The first time it ever happened, I went to a speedway in Columbus. Well, Hilliard, on the west side of Columbus. And the guy's like, he's like, you look like really familiar. He's like, do you have a YouTube channel? And I'm like, yeah. And then I was confused because he's like, oh yeah, that must be where I know you from. I was like, do you watch me? And he's like, no. So I was like, okay, well, I don't know how you know what I look like then. Um, and then I think like a year or so later after that, I was at a Lyft driver meetup that was held at the Lyft regional office in Columbus. And somebody recognized me because I did a hire car review, which I'm actually I'm in an influencer program for hire car. If any of you want to rent a car to do ride share or grocery delivery or anything, I can hook you up with a deal on that. But nobody had reviewed hire car. There was nothing on YouTube about it when I made that video. So because I was the only thing out there, a lot of people, especially in the rideshare community, did end up watching that. Oh, okay. Loan the paintings for a commission. That would make good business sense. I mean, yeah, if I could make money off of it, that would make business sense. My thought was just to essentially have a sign on it saying that they were available for purchase, or to have like a price posted on them. Um, I'm not sure that this building has the clientele of people that might be interested in that. Um, but there is actually a store at our mall um, that I don't know what you would even call it, but it used to be the Gap. The Gap went out of business, became Dress Barn, and then the Dress Barn went out of business. So it's like a Gap remodeled into a Dress Barn, which has then been converted into something called, I think it's called Cardinal Market or something. And it's like they have it divided up um, into these different tables and sections, but each table and section is from a local vendor. Some of it is locally made food, um, and some of it is like paintings and artwork, but they're all local people. The Gap went out of business, lol. I don't shop. Well, it didn't totally go out of business. In fact, I have a Gap bag over there. A new t-shirt I got a couple months ago. I haven't even worn yet. Um, I don't get a whole lot from the Gap, but they do have some good basics. Um, so when they're on sale, I'll definitely get those. What is the best clothing brand in 2021 in terms of total package? Quality of clothes, value for money, cool factor. Well, as you can tell, I used to work for the Moose, Abercrombie and Fitch. It's definitely not the company it used to be, and the clothes definitely are a lot thinner material than they used to be. But I will say, overall, I still think that they're a good quality, and more so than the quality of the material, I think it's the fit. I have a really hard time finding clothes that fit well. Um, so, best clothing brand in 2021 in terms of total package, quality of clothes, value for money, cool factor. All right, so I'll tell you this. I would say hands down, it's Abercrombie and Fitch and or Hollister, which are the same company. If you get the stuff when it's on sale, if it's on the front tables, it's not on sale. But like for example, Hollister. I wear skinny jeans. All of them come from Hollister. All right. Now the way you do it is you wait until they have the $25 sale. Not all the jeans are $25. The ones on the front table, again, they're going to be like 65, 80. But go to the main jean display, and usually all of those are $25. But what you do is you sign up for a Club Cali account, and that's going to give you $10 off. So you're actually getting the jeans for $15. So I just sign up for a new account every time, so I can get, every pair of jeans for $15, and they're pretty thick jeans. They last pretty long. I usually go through 2, 3, or 4 pairs a year. I usually have like a medium pair, a dark pair, a light pair, and then usually a destroyed pair. Those do usually cost more. But like the only reason they don't last any longer than that is like I wear the crotches out of them. But I think that's just me. I don't know anybody else that happens to. So I don't know if I walk weird or what, but that's why I end up having to replace them. Other than that, I mean, they're comfortable. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't shop enough probably to even tell you guys the best brands, but that's where I get most of my clothes. I think that they have a decent amount of style to them. The fit, like the slimmer, like more muscular fit, like that, just feels more comfortable to me. I can't stand baggy clothes. Yeah, that's what I would go with. All right, guys. So, looks like I don't see any more questions. If you guys have any last minute questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. Did you experience reverse culture shock when returning to West Virginia? Look, it's weird here. I mean, anybody from West Virginia is gonna get pissed now, but like it's not a normal place here. I don't know if I was shocked because I just kind of knew it was like this. I mean, I'm from here, and I've lived here on and off throughout my life. Now, I think as far as like differences in culture, the biggest difference has just been living in Ohio, where we have a governor who is very strict about restrictions with the virus, and then coming to West Virginia, where everyone thinks the virus is a liberal conspiracy, and if you are seen wearing a mask in public, people stare at you. Like, that's very different. I can tell you in my office building here, nothing gets cleaned. No one wears a mask, ever. Like, it's just as if it doesn't exist. So probably just because people have taken stuff as far as preparations for the virus and changes due to the virus to such extremes, that's probably the most noticeable thing here, is just that there's not much that's changed, and there's a lot going on that probably shouldn't be. A lot of restrictions that should be in place that definitely aren't. or they are in place and just no one follows them or enforces them. And I mean, the thing is, some of those you can use to your advantage, right? Like, I'm taking my girlfriend out to dinner, and we're going to a hibachi show, right? I mean, that should not be open. or even if they cook the food, they should just, like, be packaged for you. But no, they're doing full-on, like, hibachi shows where you're sitting, like, near strangers and stuff. Um, did you think like them when you lived there, or were you always different? Um, yeah and no. Um, I mean, I did grow up here, and I had the same upbringing as all the people that are now vastly different in personality and thought to me. But it's difficult to say because I tried. Okay, this is going to sound ridiculous, but the first time I noticed there was a difference was back in the 1990s when I was in elementary school, and everyone else in my school started getting into WWE or WWF or whatever it was, like professional wrestling. And I just didn't like it. I was like, this is stupid. Like, I just was not interested in the least. And I think that's when I started just being, like, very different in the stuff that I liked. Um, but I was, let's just be honest here. I was white trash. I grew up just having god awful style and thoughts about things. Um, but about the time that I ended high school and started getting into college and just got out of this area and got exposed to like the real world and life and normal people, yeah, I found my own way within a couple of years. And but yeah, I mean, so to answer your question, I mean, I definitely was part of this culture at one point, and there are definitely things that I hold dear about this culture. I like the hardworking aspect of it. My girlfriend works 70 hours a week. I love that about her. She is such a hard worker, and that's something that we really appreciate here is hard work. But I don't hold the politics of the area. I don't, I believe in science. I'm not religious. Um, and there are just a lot of things that I don't understand and honestly don't care to understand about this area. I don't think I'm any better than them. I'm just different. And I wish that they were as accepting as I am and as tolerant of me as I am of them. Um, let's see. Oh, Colors of Avon said, Callie is going crazy about COVID. Works for me because I get to work from home. Yeah, and I live right on the border of West Virginia and Ohio, so I'm under kind of two sets of rules because I have to bounce back and forth across the river for doing different things. And all right, looks like my neighbors are yelling in the hallway, if you can hear them. Um, but I'm bouncing back and forth, and I'm under these like two different sets of rules. I can't really keep them straight, and I didn't even know Ohio had a curfew right now, and I heard about them like extending the curfew, and I was like, well, I've been violating that. I didn't even know about it. Um, and then, yeah, so Colors of Avon says she's working from home. Um, and that's actually like a big thing right now because, I know some of you guys are probably wondering, like, well, you know, what are you gonna do? Like, if the channel doesn't take off enough in time and your unemployment runs out, which I'm not close to that, but just like whenever that happens, like, you know, aren't you gonna get a job? And I mean, yeah, that would make sense, but I'm actually afraid to do that, especially living here where they don't take the virus seriously. I don't want to get exposed to it. So if I do get a job, it's either going to be doing this, it's going to be working remotely from my office, or moving to an area where they take this seriously. And, I'm not sure what that's going to look like. George Dingus says, where do you call home? I'm actually in my home right now. So I'm from Parkersburg, West Virginia, and I moved back here. I am living here basically because it's cheap, and because I have some business to take care of here. I needed to sort things out with my girlfriend, get that all done and planned for us to move away from here again, which that all looks like it's lined up. Um, I thought I was going to be close to visiting my mom. She lives about 15 miles from here. But unfortunately, she's in a nursing home and they're all locked down and have been for months, so I haven't been able to see her. I have a storage unit here that I need to work on cleaning out and eventually getting rid of. And my mom has a storage unit here that I need to do the same thing with. So basically, I needed to be down here for the cheap rent and to take care of all those problems. And that's why I'm in my hometown. Um, oh, he means home. Like, I was born in Cali, but it's not home. Home for me is Chicago. That's the city in my heart. That's what I mean. Um, I don't know that I have that. I mean, I've lived in Columbus for the last 5 years, and before that, I came home in this area for a few months, and then before that, I was in Columbus for a few months. And I don't know that I really have a place that is like home, home. And I mean, I hope to find that place sometime. I don't ever really plan to like settle down, but if I do find like a home base that I love, like that would be cool. Um, but I mean, if anything, one place that I could always see myself going back to is Athens, Ohio, which is about an hour from here. It's a little college town in the middle of a national forest, and I've always loved it. I've lived there several times, both as a student and as someone working there afterward. Um, Now, there's not a lot there. Um, the biggest thing you have is Walmart, but it's just such a cool little town. Um, and also, so it says like all you guys are from California. Um, are the are girls hot in Athens? Yeah, I mean it's the state university, so yeah, for sure. Um, Also, though, I have a girlfriend and I'm 35, so I don't think they care if I think they're hot. They probably think I'm just a creepy old dude. So you know, um, no, I mean I can get involved in on campus like through my fraternity um, as an advisor or something like that, but I want to get a little more settled in before I do anything like that. I'm probably going to do that here. I've got a chapter in my fraternity up at Marietta College. It's about 15 miles away, and the national fraternity invited me to be the financial advisor to the ADA. What is it? Is it ADA chapter? Maybe I don't know, Epsilon chapter or something like that at Ohio State, which I thought would look really good for my credentials, trying to build up my credentials of proving that I do have experience in finance and can advise people and coach them in it. But I was just not in a place to take it at that time. But if Marietta offered me that position now, I would take it and just do it for the rest of the time I'm here while I'm waiting for my girlfriend. Essentially, what I'm waiting for is she can't get out of her lease, and that's until August. So, what is great about Athens? It's chill. Oh, yeah, chill, has good food, nice streets, or what? It's really all that. Athens is a tiny town, but it has a really cool uptown area. Um, it used to have a huge party scene, but not so much anymore. Um, they do still have the biggest Halloween party in the country. That's like this huge, enormous block party thing that shuts down the whole town. Um, it's a really good college, so you have everything that comes with that. Sports, arts, entertainment, lecture series, um, just, all kinds of student activities, which are all open to the community and the public. That's not that way at every university. Um, You have a ton of different types of food. Some classic restaurants that have been there forever, and then like you always have like new little things popping up. Um, it's right in the middle of Hocking Hills, which is like basically like a vacation area anyhow. Um, so the landscape is amazing. There's a lot of hiking, outdoor stuff to do. Um, the people are super chill, and there's just like an energy about a college town in general where everybody is always about like bettering yourself and about like self development and always optimistic and if you tell people that you're starting business, you're an entrepreneur, it's not like I've experienced a lot of places where they're just like, okay, yeah, that's going to work out. They're actually supportive of it. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's probably more to it, but I just really like Athens. Now, whether that's my forever home, I don't know, but I hope to always own a home there that I can always visit. Is it spendy? Like one of those quaint towns where you have to be loaded or good value? Well, so real estate prices in Athens are kind of expensive because you got to understand that it's a town that has like 4,000 people, but then has like 35,000 students. So apartments in real estate are expensive. Now, food's not expensive. Really, nothing else there is expensive. Um, you can get cheaper lodging. Like I've mostly lived in cheaper lodging there. Um, and I mean, it's certainly not like, like New York or Chicago prices. But for the area, it's like 2 or 3 times what you would pay an hour outside that radius for the same type of apartment. So I wouldn't say it's spendy, but like, unless you want to live in off-campus student housing, like an old house that's been converted into apartments or something, then you're probably going to pay a good bit. The apartments that I used to manage there, the one bedrooms were $940 a month, um, which, like I said, is about 3 times what they would be here in Parkersburg. But that's, I mean, they were very nice apartments. Like they were brand new. Um, Somebody said Skyline Gold Star. Oh wait, I totally missed the first part of that. Girls are hot in Lexington, Kentucky. Just go to UK's campus. Pretty much all blondes. Then again, I like blondes, but and then I just saw Skyline and Gold Star. I thought you were talking about Athens. Athens used to have a Gold Star, not anymore. And Columbus has Skyline, but we don't have it around here. Um, George says, "How much would a nice 2 bedroom in a cool street cost? Close to shopping and stores." Well, I mean, you'd want Court Street if you're going to do that. Um, I mean, a 2 bedroom? This is a real ballpark because I haven't lived in Athens for 6 or 7 years now. Um, but you're probably going to get anything that's on the main street, Court Street, which is where the shops and stuff are. You'd have to have like one of the loft apartments above a business. Um, I mean, those are usually $2,000 or $3,000 a month. So, I mean, depending on the landlord, sometimes they charge per person, sometimes they don't, and then you can pack a bunch of people in there and split the rent. It's also kind of hard to look for apartments in Athens because a lot of them don't list online. You have to like go in person, and they also usually are booked out a year or two ahead because they rent per school year. The entire city runs on the school calendar, regardless of like why you're there. Um, like a lot of the stores do shut down over school breaks. I bet it's a great town for dates. Yeah, it really is. So one of the things I got planned, I'm gonna take my girlfriend ice skating up there because the hockey arena, you can go skating there. Um, and then my favorite restaurant of all time is there. It's Casa Nueva. Um, and it's not actually pronounced Casa Nueva. It's Casa Nueva because it's Southeast Ohio. Um, but it's sort of a worker-owned collective pseudo-Mexican organic restaurant that's part of the slow food movement. Um, I'm surprised by Graham Stephan. Oh, yeah, now I don't know the second person that you mentioned, but I do know Graham. I don't know if I mentioned that, but like I've met him. We're both in the We Will influencer program. Um, you know, there's a trade-off. I mean, look, everything's cheap here, yeah. And I do eventually want to buy some rental properties here, but the thing you have to consider is, are you going to be able to get people to fill those properties? You want to have that balance where you can get a cheap, like a property at a low cost, but then also have demand for that housing. And the population here is shrinking so much, and there are very, very few jobs that pay enough. Like, if it gives you guys any idea, my girlfriend makes $2.60 an hour, like $2.60 an hour. That's why she works 70 hours a week. So, I mean, it, I mean, even if you would buy the place super cheap, think about the income that you'd have coming in from it. Like, you're gonna have $300 a month for a one bedroom, right? Is it gonna be worth that investment? Like, is it gonna create enough income? Um, and then you also have to consider repairs, because repairs are going to be about the same cost across the board, whether it's West Virginia or California. So then you have to think, well, with the money that I'm bringing in from this, does it cover the repairs? Where do people mostly go from West Virginia? I imagine it must be tough if they're very young and never been far away and they happen to move to LA or something crazy. Does that happen? Yeah. I mean, almost everyone leaves here. I mean, we're encouraged from, very young ages, get out of this place. Um, and that's from teachers, parents, everyone for generations has been convinced the only way to succeed is to get out of here. And most of them go to Columbus. Like, some to Cincinnati, some to Pittsburgh. If you're on the other side of the state, maybe you go to DC. Um, but they go to cities, and they're usually regional, but some people do go as far as LA. I had a girl I graduated high school with that went to Pepperdine for college, and then she just stayed out there. Although now that I think about it, I think she moved to Indonesia with her husband. But there's, I mean, it's very hard. It's a very hard adjustment, especially for the people that are really tied to the country aspect of it. Now, even though I'm from West Virginia, I grew up in the city. I I live downtown now. I have always lived downtown here, and had like a very urban surrounding. It's a small urban surrounding, and we're a few miles drive from the woods, but I've always been very urban. So for the people that are country, it's probably um, a harder adjustment for them. 260. I don't know why I keep coughing. 260 an hour, but isn't that illegal? No, no, 260 an hour is not illegal. That is actually above minimum wage here for servers. I think she started out at $2.04 an hour. They can live in tents at Angel Stadium. Um, I'd rather be in West Virginia than Cali right now, any day of the week. Unless I was loaded, but that's a good question. Is there enough stuff, lifestyle, culture, etc., if you have money in West Virginia? I would say no. Um, there are rich people who move here, and on occasion, on like Zillow and things like that, you'll see, you know, a mansion being sold for like $20 million or something just obscene. Um, of course, they can never get rid of them because nobody wants to move here, and nobody's ever going to buy that, and no one here can afford it. So they sit on the market for years. Um, but there are some rich people, and I don't think that there is enough. No. Um, I, the only thing that I can think of, like when I think what is there to do in West Virginia, I mean, I guess part of the year there's like snowshoe, so you can go skiing. We do have a fairly nice ski resort. Um, there's the Clay Center for the Arts in Charleston, so if they're having some kind of program, you could go there. Um, I guess if you're into football, you can go to WVU or Marshall games. Um, Wheeling has the Wheeling Nailers. That's hockey. Um, Appalachian Power, baseball in Charleston. But as far as things to do, no, there's nothing to do here. Now, the one thing is that the new river, it was a national river, and it just got designated as a national park. So the fact that it's a national park will probably bring in some business to that area of the southeastern part of the state, but there's already a lot of controversy because by it becoming a national park, they started charging entrance fees, which means that none of the locals can afford to go there. 20 million in Ohio, wow. Colors of Avon, are you talking about the population? Because you should check out the population of West Virginia. You'll be even more surprised. Um, George says, when you were traveling all over for that job last year, did you visit any cities that you felt might be good to live in? Uh, yeah. I mean, none that I'd be like, yeah, I want to live here. But I did go to a city that I think I'd like to visit again. And, you know, I don't know. But I lived for 3 weeks in Idaho Falls, Idaho. That was a pretty nice place. And it was really near a lot of outdoor stuff to do. Of course, it's Idaho. It's freezing. I ended up there in the middle. No, it was the end of June that I flew in, and it was like 40 degrees. So it did eventually warm up, and it got really hot. Like we were out in the desert hiking when it was like 100 degrees. But summer is very short there. But we took a side trip to Yellowstone from there through Montana and Wyoming. Um, I mean, now there are some downsides. Everything closes there early, 7, 8 o'clock. Um, they have a Target that is not even a full Target. Like it doesn't have groceries. It's a smaller town, but I don't know. There was nice stuff to make up for it. I don't know if I'd live there, but I definitely want to go back and visit. Oh, talking about the mansions. Yeah, you can see it. And it's funny because, like, if you look at Zillow in West Virginia, you will see the most ridiculous houses. There's like, you'll see a few like that, and then you'll see ones where the house is like $8,000. I literally was looking at a property on Zillow last night, and it was a small piece of land, but like the cover photo was of the house, and it's house. It was what apparently was a log cabin at one point that they had put like wood over, like wood clapboards, but the entire thing had collapsed. Like it was just a pile of wood. And it's like, why on earth would you put that as the main photo for the Zillow listing? Like that there's like the house, the feature of the property is just like collapsed. That's the kind of stuff that you see around here. You know, and I mean, it's just that at one time there was money here and now there's not. And so there's a lot of big houses, a lot of nice older places, but they're just not kept up and they're falling apart. What is the quality of women where you are? Are there good girls, single, no kids, no drugs, no drinking? No. That is the answer to that. do not come here to try to meet women. Um, I mean, the answer to every single one of those things is no. I mean, good girls, that's probably debatable. No, most people here are married. There are few single people, and people get married super young here. Um, you would be very hard pressed to find any girl who does not have kids. I don't want kids, and that's been a very hard thing for me. Um, no drugs, that's not possible. This is West Virginia. And no drinking, maybe. Maybe if she's super religious, maybe. Vermont is the state to best get married. No community laws. Um, I don't know about I don't know what a community law is, but I know there's like, what's that called? What is it called? The form of marriage where like you live together for a certain amount of time, and you're like, after a certain amount of time, you're just basically considered married. Um, I know Ohio used to have that, but they did away with it. Oh yeah, common law marriage. Yeah. So we don't have that here either. Um, but yeah. Basically, um, I would not. I mean, look, if you don't believe me, come to West Virginia, or if you're on. Honestly, okay. Here's the best thing you can do. If you get on a dating app and you set your location to here, just swipe through there. Like, I'm not trying to be condescending. I'm not trying to be chauvinistic. I'm just trying to truthfully answer your question. Is West Virginia doing anything to change this situation? Absolutely not. And I mean, I don't know if you're talking about just women or like the other problems, but this state is doing the best it can to make things worse. Um, People are so, because I mean, you think about it, anybody who was worth anything or had any intelligence, they left. The people that stayed are the people who liked it the way that it was. And it's like, it's just yeah, look, everything's awful here. All right, I'm not. Everybody from West Virginia is going to crucify me because they're so critical. They're so hypersensitive to criticism. But come on. I mean, I'm not trying to be negative. It's just this place. I'm here because the rent's cheap and because I needed to take care of some stuff. I'm not here permanently. Um, I'm proud to be from here, but I'm proud to like be from here because I like survived this area and came out normal. What do those people like about it? You know, it's really weird when you ask people what they like about West Virginia, the people who really love it, they usually talk about the mountains, which we don't even have here because I'm not in that part of the state. We have some like rolling hills, but we're not mountainous at all. Um, they talk about the people, which I find to be the hardest to believe thing because honestly, the people here are the nastiest people I've ever seen in my life. And I grew up here. I'm from here. People, whenever I say that, they're they think that I'm the problem. I'm like, no, no, really. I'm 35 years old. I've experienced this my whole life. I've gone to New York. I've gone to Chicago. I've gone to all these places where people are supposed to be nasty, and then I end up being blown away by how friendly they are compared to the people in my home. Now, I think there are reasons for that. I think that I'm not going to get into them here. They're really deep and long and drawn out. But I think I know some of the reasons that people here are so just vile. But, there's nothing I can do to change them. And, yeah, closed-minded, that's for sure. They don't think they are, but they definitely are. And the other thing is, like, wait, what are you saying? Girls date really early. Yeah, they do. religious. Yeah, so it's an extremely religious area. Um, and it's like pretty homogenous as far as religion. Like you might be Methodist or you might be Baptist, but almost everyone here is religious, and almost everyone who is religious is some sort of like Protestant Christian religion. So there's really not any variation in beliefs here. Like I can tell you, there's one Jewish family in our town. Used to be more. We used to have a synagogue, but they've all moved away over time. There used to be some Catholics here, which I think there are still a few, but very few. Um, it's just there's just really nothing else. Um, George says a Central African proverb goes, "The child who has never left his village says his mother is the best cook." Yeah, that's a good point. They've done that. They've literally, if you listen to a podcast called Inside Appalachia, it's made by West Virginia Public Broadcasting. Um, there's an episode of it where they actually, I don't know if it was Vermont or somewhere, they actually sent some West Virginians to Vermont and then some people from Vermont to West Virginia to like meet each other, and like they found a lot of like commonalities and stuff, but they did that because it's just like so culturally different. Um, and you know, the West Virginians, um, well, they, I don't know, I guess they got to see a little bit of something different. Um, I don't know. It's very, the thing that bothers me the most about people here is I feel like people here are very opinionated and they're very loud about their opinions, but they don't seem to have any actual reasoning behind their opinions, and they all seem to all have the same opinion. Well, yeah, okay, yeah, that's the opinion they have. But yeah, it's like they all have the same opinions, and it's like, have you ever stopped to think, like, is that what you believe? Like, I know that's what your parents believe and everybody around you believes, but like, have you ever just thought? Have you actually just thought about what you believe? Um, I studied abroad in high school, and I have long advocated that there should be an internal high school exchange program in the USA. Send kids from Alabama to Alaska for a semester, from Wyoming to New Jersey, etc. Yeah, I mean, I think that would definitely be beneficial. Um, I mean, it would probably help with education too, because I mean, we were always told in school that like our schools would not be able to adequately prepare us for college because like the schools in Appalachia just aren't good enough. I'm not sure that was really true because none of my college classes were as hard as my high school, but that is what we were always told. So, when I was in high school, I went to a village in Mexico, and the woman was cooking tacos behind a curtain on a wood stove. This was a restaurant. Oh yeah, I'd be fine with that. I love street tacos. Wait, what? You said what? They told you that in the school? Oh yeah, that we wouldn't be adequately prepared. Yeah, they basically said that like our school, like what they taught us was so far behind the curriculum for what you would need to get into college that they would never be able to teach us enough to prepare us for college, which turned out not to be true at all. I don't know why that was a thing. Um, but I only maybe had like 3 or 4 classes in all of my college that I had that was as hard as my high school classes. Cat 6 testing. I don't know what that is. We took the ACT. Um, wow, all this is telling me either there's a serious corruption out the ass in West Virginia or they aren't getting enough taxes. Well, okay, well, I mean, okay, so we have one of the highest tax rates of any state. Um, which is really weird because it's like an ultra conservative state with super high taxes. It's like they're conservative, but they keep voting for taxes. It's weird. Um, but also, yeah, there is a lot of corruption here for sure. Um, like I don't know if you know, but just like Big Jim, Jim Justice, our governor, he just got sworn in for a second term. Like just the weird stuff that goes on here. Like he ran as a Democrat, and then once he got in office, switched to being a Republican. Like that doesn't happen anywhere else. Um, Traveling to other countries and learning other cultures is a lot different than watching it on TV. I'm sure it is, and I haven't had the opportunity to travel abroad yet. Like I mentioned earlier in the stream, my girlfriend and I are planning a road trip to Canada to see about immigration and just like check it out. Um, but of course, the borders are closed now, at least until April. Uh, so that's not going to be able to happen. And she also wants to go to Australia and check that out. So kind of see what happens with that. Um, oh, Cat 6 was middle school standardized test. Yeah, I mean, I had some standardized tests in school as well. Oh, hey Isaac. Yeah, it is the first time I've seen you in a live stream. Thank you. Um, Thank you. Um, oh yeah, Canada's a little bit expensive. Yeah. Um, so yeah, I mean, our main motivation right now is just like as we're getting older, we want to move somewhere where we have healthcare. That's it. So, um, so we're gonna figure that out. Um, but oh yeah, yeah, I know. There's no way I can afford California. Um, Visiting's fine, but couldn't live there. Um, but anyway, guys, I'm probably gonna wrap it up here soon because we've been on about 2.5 hours now. Looks like you guys do have a lot to talk about though. So if you have any more direct questions for me, I'll still answer them. Um, and then since this is a super long video, um, it's probably going to be tomorrow before YouTube gets all of this processed and like uploaded again. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Colors of Avon. Um, yeah, thanks for coming. So if anybody has any final questions, just go ahead and put them in the chat. Thanks, George. You going to sleep already? 9:30. All right. I'm I'm running to the grocery store before they close because I think they close at 11. I don't know. I don't know what anything does anymore with all the corona restrictions. Oh, 7:30 on Wednesday weekdays. Okay. Oh, I can't do that. I'm lucky to go to bed by 7 a.m. Um, but all right, cool guys. Well, anyway, I don't see any more questions coming in. So we'll go ahead and wrap up. Um, just like normal, I'll get the end of the month video and beginning of the month video up here fairly soon. Um, I'm gonna have some more like kind of different kinds of content, including the empty apartment tour from Columbus that I'll have up in February, and um, we'll see how it goes. I'll get as many videos done as I can, and hopefully all this extraneous stuff that I've been dealing with will go away here pretty soon. So I'll have more time to work on the videos. But anyway, all right. I don't see any more comments, guys. So yeah, video a week. That's even if it's short. Let's think that's probably a good goal. I will get the 2021 financial goals video out for you in February at least. So that's probably the big one. So we'll get that one out. Anyway, guys, I don't see any more comments coming in, so I'll go ahead and end the stream here. But thank you, guys. This is like a really long stream, but everybody was super talkative. That's great. And absolutely, you have a good night too. And night, George. And then we will. And I don't think he's on the stream anymore, but big shout out to Jaeger Bombs for the $50 super chat. That helps me out immensely. You convene. Good amount this month. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, guys, I see there's still 12 people, but I'm saying goodnight. I got to run to the grocery store. I appreciate you guys being on here. And yep. And as we who are about to die salute you, says we will convene. So I will see you guys here in the next few days when I get those month in and month beginning videos back up for you.